Hello again, this is Sandra Hart. Thank you so much for coming back to spend a little bit of time for me and to join in on this conversation as to what actually is going on with me in my life.
Walk with me. Let's leave the past behind. Walk with me. There's something else we need to find. Say you'll go, don't make me wait. There's no need to hesitate. Let's make footprints in the sand. Let's make miracles. Come hold my hand. Let's find something new, me and you.
As we have often talked about here, life absolutely is not predictable, is it? We can live today, but tomorrow we don't know exactly what is happening. Well, those of you who have followed me know that my husband is 95 and he really has a mind of his own. I did a video that was put up last week, but I did that video a couple of weeks ago. So actually, this is the first video that I am putting up after I took a week off. And I'm going to tell you why I did that. All of a sudden, Arthur decided that he wanted to go back to New York. We have not been back to New York since November of 2019 when COVID started. And he has lived in his apartment in New York for 65 years. That basically has become a security blanket for him. And all of a sudden, he was fearful of all of his possessions and that maybe people were taking things from him. But he actually became manic, and he insisted on going back to New York. No matter how much my children talked to him, our friends talked to him and told him how unsafe it was, he is very obstinate and has a mind of his own. So I had to let go. I really had to let go. I'm not in control of him. I'm not in control of his life. So I had to let go of the situation. Now, I know what a lot of you are probably thinking. Well, why don't you just go to New York with him? Well, let me tell you. When we were younger, that apartment was absolutely fine. It's a one-bedroom apartment. But now that Arthur has insomnia, he's also developed Tourette's, but he is up all night long making noises, and it's just a one-bedroom apartment, which means that I would have to sleep on the couch in the living room, and he would be going back and forth all night long, and I would not be able to sleep at all. I would be completely worn down if I were in that apartment with him for more than a week. I also have obligations down here in South Beach that I cannot get out of. Arthur knew that, but he didn't care. He was so concerned about his possessions that he would rather be sitting in that apartment surrounded by his possessions that give him comfort and rather being with people that love him. I made all the arrangements for him to have a wheelchair. I took him to the airport, but a wheelchair met us right at the door, took him to where he had to go. He took Pesto with him, and he got there safely because I also made arrangements for a wheelchair for him when he got off the plane and for transportation for him to go to New York. I also have made arrangements for people to look in on him. He promised me he's going to wear his safety device, but there was no stopping Arthur. He was going. So all of a sudden, I was alone. And I was thinking about Thanksgiving and Christmas and my birthday. I canceled my birthday cruise because I know that he probably will not want to be back here. And because he's so obsessed with his possessions. And my son is going up in February, and I hope I can go with him. And we're going to try to talk him into getting rid of the apartment and all of his possessions. But that won't be till February because my son finally is back to work and he has a lot of concerts is obligated to with doing a lot of concerts. This certainly has been stressful for me. Arthur is his own person, and I knew when I married him how obstinate he could be, so it was no surprise. But as he'd gotten older, he is more and more determined to live his life his way. Out of this situation, I thought perhaps there might be lessons for all of us to think about, because I'm alone now, basically. I have no family down here. I have friends that are very supportive, but actually I am on my own down here. And I thought about all of you, maybe if you're a single woman, if you are widowed, divorced, coping on your own and coping with this new chapter in your life. Well, even though Arthur, thank heavens, is still, here and will eventually be back to South Beach, there are lessons I think that we can think about and how we cope with the different chapters in our lives and the different changes that happen to us that are absolutely out of our control. Absolutely out of our control. And I've thought of 3 different things and lessons that perhaps I can relearn myself. Because Arthur and I have been together, well, we dated for 6 years, but we've been married for almost 38 years in February. And during COVID, we have been together 24/7. And the lessons I think that I am going to have to relearn and to teach myself is, the first one would be to accept those things I cannot control and to let go.
Say something like you love me and make my day, like you always do, like you always do. Hold my hand and look me in the eyes so I can tell you how I feel.
The second thing that I think may be helpful for all of us, and I think it's really difficult, especially if you've been in a long-term relationship, been married. A lot of your life is taken up with the needs of your spouse. And perhaps you lean on him or her, and you've gotten used to that. Perhaps you're a caretaker, and you have that big responsibility. The one thing I think that is so important if you are alone or if you have burdens in your life because you are a caretaker is self-love.
Where is the line between dreaming and feeling blue? It's 4 o'clock in the evening. I haven't left my room. But the truth is, if I'm honest, I feel stuck here in the middle.
We really must remember who we are and that we are whole individuals just by ourselves. We really don't need anyone else to fulfill us. I know it's nice if you do have a husband or a partner. That's a wonderful thing. But once that piece is taken away from your life, once that piece of the puzzle is removed, sometimes it's so easy for us to not feel whole. It doesn't mean that you have to be a recluse and not, talk to your children or if you have family around. It doesn't mean that. What I am saying is it's okay to be alone. Being able to enjoy the freedom of just being me. I know it sounds crazy, but really think about it. We are creatures of habit, and especially if we're in a long-term relationship and we love one another and we're dependent upon one another, once that dynamic changes, sometimes we're at a loss and we feel that something is missing in our lives, and how can we go on and how can we resume our lives? Self-love is the answer to that. And the third thing that we've talked about a whole lot, but actually now it's taken on a new meaning for me. And that is live in the now.
Straight cruising, headed for a bruising, watching out for number one. You gotta slow down and look around you, son. Today is just today and not tomorrow.
Living in the now means that each day is special. And we talked about this just not too long ago, about the only day that really is important in your life is today. Because yesterday is gone, tomorrow isn't here yet, and you don't know what's in store for you tomorrow. But if you live in the now with the self-love that you have, you will be able to enjoy each and every moment of each and every day. And I think this last thought that I have just said is so, so important for all of us. If you are suffering a loss, if you are suffering feeling that you are alone and nobody cares about you, if you feel that you can't go on because maybe you're ill and your life has changed and you don't have the energy or the status quo that you had before when you were younger, always remember, today is so, so special. So enjoy today because it's a gift. It really is a gift. These are things that I have thought about, and I really have had to revisit all of these 3 different things in my life right now because I don't know the future. In reality, because of Arthur and his age and his propensity to fall, I hate to think about it, but I may never see him again. I hope that that is not the case, and I hope that in February, or maybe sooner, when we got all the arrangements worked out and my son can get up there and help get rid of the apartment and all, let Arthur let go of his possessions, I'm hoping that it's going to work out okay. So keep your faith because you know that you are never alone. and that you always have someone there with you, whatever religion you are, whatever faith you are, whatever higher power you believe in. Just know that you are not alone, and that all of these three things, if you think about them every day, will help you lead a better life in this chapter of your life. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so happy to see all of you, and life goes on, but letting go and accepting what is happening and believing that this journey is something that is meant to be. Do something wonderful for yourself today, and of course be kind to whomever crosses your path, and let's all share the love. And we will take this journey in life together. I will see you in my next video.